All right, hi. My name is DrunkWario, and I am not going to be running Virtual Boy Wario Land. That's at about an hour. I'm running Broken Reality, which is basically Vaporwave the game. It's a adventure puzzle game that was released late last year, and as you can tell by the title, this game is very broken. We're just going to jump right in. There's a lot to explain in a very short amount of time, so I'm going to try to cover as much as I can. So we're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Let's log in. So the very first thing we're going to be getting is a liker. This lets us like things and interact with people and objects. This liker also lets us gather likes through pop-ups. Likes are the basic collectible in this game. It is used to increase your popularity and access new areas of the game. Unfortunately, we're not going to be doing any of that because popularity is meaningless. We're just going to get into every area of the game as we see fit through speedrunning methods. So, you'll see on the bottom of the screen we have our taskbar, which has all of the tools that we're going to be getting eventually. We have only very basic movement methods. We can't jump, we can't crouch, we can't run, but we can increase our movement speed very slightly by walking diagonally, which is faster than just walking in a normal compass direction. This is a triangle. As you can tell by the category name, all triangles, we're going to be gathering all the triangles in the game before we finish. There are 3 per area, 15 overall. You would normally need to get all 15 in order to access the last area of the game, but we're just going to collect them just for the sake of the category not being 7 minutes long, which is what any percent usually is. This right here contains our next tool, which is the bookmarker. The bookmarker lets us mark a location anywhere in the game, well, as long as it's in the same area, and we can teleport back to this area at any time. Unfortunately, that is going to be the secondary function of the bookmarker, because the bookmarker actually sets our location to slightly above where we bookmark, so we can use the slightly above property to repeatedly bookmark in place and gain height as much as we can to get over obstacles and walls, because the game does not have a jump button. There we go. We're just going to climb back the way we came. We're going to walk around this pop-up. There we go. And we are going to clip into the admin's office. So currently we are stuck in the first area of the game called Domo Paradiso until we get enough popularity to get into the admin's office and let him allow us to leave. Fortunately for us, we're actually not going to do any of that. We're just going to clip into his office. He says we're popular enough. He's going to enable the exit into the rest of the game. Unfortunately, the door is still locked, so we just have to jump on top of the admin's head and clip through the ceiling. We're also gathering likes for completing the quest that we never got, really, but the likes are meaningless anyway. We're going to rocket way up into the sky using the bookmarker. The bookmarker, when you use it above very short ceilings, the game will attempt to force you out of the geometry by rocketing you upwards. Depending on how thin the ceiling is, it will actually let you preserve way more upward momentum than necessary. And there's another triangle in here. We're just going to grab it real quick so we don't have to come back and get it later. And I actually forgot to mention, this one thing we picked up is the hyperlinker. The hyperlinker is basically a hook shot from The Legend of Zelda. So whenever we see these rainbow glowing panels, we can teleport to them, and we're going to use this property along with the bookmarker to make the game make us teleport in very awkward directions. So we're going to take a little bit of a break, go on this very nice beach area, and we're going to pick up the next tool that we're going to get, which is the camera. And we have not been making friends. It's not faster, just like saying we haven't been making friends. So we're going to pick up a camera, and the camera is a camera for now. I hope we know what a camera does. So we are going to be leaving Domo Paradiso, and as you can see on our hotbar, we do not have every single tool. The developers of the game have intended to have that the player is supposed to have every single tool by the time you leave Domo Paradiso. The second one is a sword, which is used to get rid of pop-ups, and the third one is a credit card, which is used to buy things. However, this is actually developer confirmed. The nice thing about indie games is that you can ask the devs certain things. We're just going to get them anyway, because when the developers were testing things, they did not want to have to gather every single tool individually, so they just enable flags as soon as you exit Domo Paradiso to get everything. So there's an invisible hyperlink panel up here. We're going to be grabbing our next triangle, and we're going to be hyperlinking while using the bookmarker before we reach our destination, and we're going to warp up here. Whoa. Uh-oh. Okay, we're fine. Whenever we use the hyperlinker, the game will attempt to push us to that hyperlink panel from anywhere. Although if we bookmark away from it, we can have the game attempt to push us towards it up walls, and a whole bunch of other places. So the next area we're going to be going to is Aquanet. If you're familiar with Vaporwave, this is a Sea-Punk themed level. If you're not familiar with Vaporwave, I am... Well, I was about to say I'm very sorry for you, but I'm not. You don't know Vaporwave. So there's a little bit of a difficult clip here. We're currently underneath the loading zone to get into Aquanet. We're going to have to clip into the wall here. The way the collision detection works is weird. If you're not pressing any of the movement keys, the game will not check for collision detection. But as soon as you hit a movement key, it will eject you in any direction it sees fit. But we were able to clip through the wall. Excuse me. We were able to clip through the wall, and now we're in Aquanet. And we're going to be taking a few pictures here because we need to turn in a quest where we take 20 camera tokens. And we can only collect camera tokens by taking pictures. We take some nice pictures that are certainly orientated correctly, follow the rule of thirds and all that. This bridge is going to collapse, but it's actually quicker to just jump off it because watching the bridge collapse is very slow. See, we would have just entered the water right now. Neat speedrunning tricks. See the dolphins, all this nice stuff. You can't skip this segment, by the way. You can force your way onto the floor faster, but the game will not let you move until it ends this sequence anyway. So we're going to be taking a few more pictures. We need 20 overall, and we have 12 right now, I believe. So there's another triangle up on the roof of this temple. I actually did not learn the intended way of getting this triangle first. I learned the speedrun method by just jumping onto the roof. And it is extremely convoluted how you get this triangle, and it's basically the hardest one in the game. We're going to take a picture of this very nice statue of Poseidon. We're going to set a bookmarker right here. We're going to get rid of a few pop-ups, and we're going to talk to the famous Greek philosopher, what's your name? Socrates. That's it. And we're going to tell him we fell. He notices our katana that we did not get legitimately, and he just asked us to slash a few pop-ups. There was one for a talking cat filter. I think that one's neat. Oh, did I miss one? Oh, I did. Whoops. Speaking of the cat filter, that was it. So we need to take a few more camera tokens here, and we should have 20. So we're going to talk to him again. He's impressed with our ability to use the katana. And now he wants to see our ability to take pictures. And he is impressed with our ability to take pictures. And he's going to give us the upgrade to the camera, which is the glitch lens. The glitch lens lets us see the world as it really is. Also, he's soft-locked in there. See you soft, please. Because you're supposed to use the glitch lens to open the door back up to the temple, but we just bookmarked out of it, so we can't get back in there. So the glitch lens lets us see eyes of glitch. Whenever we click on an eye of glitch, it will activate, and we activate a whole set. It'll open a door or do some other neat things that we need to solve puzzles. There's another triangle we need to get up here. Normally, you would need to complete this whole temple in order to get up here, but we can just levitate up here anyway. And this next trick is a bit finicky. There's another rocket jump I need to do in this temple right here. And remember how I said that the game does not detect collision until you start moving? And I need to start moving at a very specific time in order to get me to clip into this box. There we go. And I clip next to this rock, and I should be going up. 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 Hello. Why am I not going up? That's weird. Let me try this again. Can I get out of here? Hello? This has never happened. Usually I should be ejecting right now. I might not be at a correct height. This is weird. It should be either ejecting me out of the box, because I'm inside collision right now. I should be either like rocketing up into the sky. There we go. Well, we can try that again. Where am I? This is going horribly awry. Okay, here we are. Let's try this again. There we go. That is very finicky. Also, I need to be far enough away from this bridge, because if I'm not far enough away from this bridge, the game will delete my bookmark and I'll be stuck down here forever. So we need to open up one more thing, and this is a speedrunner's worst nightmare: basic math problems. So we got 5 and 3. Let's see if you can beat me. I have a math degree. We need to do x plus y plus x, round up if odd, and then x plus y plus x times x plus y. That's not it. It's 8. Can I get my credit card out? There we go. So we need to do 5 plus 3. We need to do 5 plus 3 plus 5, which is 13, round up, which is 14. I keep accidentally hitting the number buttons on the side of your mouse. I'm not used to this. All right, so we need to do 13 times 5, which is 65, plus 8, which is 71. At least I think it's 71. Am I a fraud? I am a fraud! Okay, let's do this really quickly. So we have 5 plus 3 plus 5, which is 13, which is times 5. 13 times 5 is, it's not 65, it's 85 plus 3, which is, yeah. We can ask to reset the things. I need to reset the things. Do it, thank you. This is going terribly. Oh, now I'm thinking out. Okay. All the shouting's not helping. I'm sorry. I would ask for the shouting, but this is actually not helping. So we need to do 13 times 5, which is 26, 39, and 52, 65, plus 3 is 68. This is the worst it's ever gone. Trust me. Like all of Aquanet has gone terribly. The rest of it's not going to be easy either. Well, it's going to be easier. It's not going to be easier for a different reason because it involves physics engines, and physics engines are everyone's worst enemy. Anyway, this is actually an invisible wall. This took me like 3 hours to figure out in a casual playthrough. Anyway, there's a robot Shiba Inu down here. Unfortunately, the text box says it's us. So we're going to an emote and say that I'm happy to see myself. And we're going to hookshot a little bit of these very basic platforming challenges. There's a triangle at the very end of this hallway. Oh, there's one thing I've actually forgot to mention that may have been noticeable to people with a keen eye. You may notice me just like losing all of my vertical momentum, like right here. While there is no jump function, there actually is a function for the spacebar, which is unfortunately not noted in the controls. Whenever you press space when you're in the air, you will lose all of your vertical momentum, be it upwards or downwards. This can be very helpful for if rocket jumps go too high and you would need to spend more time falling down, or if you need to extend horizontal distance while falling in order to make some jumps. So then now we have our upgrade to the camera. We're going to be doing a little bit more eye hunting here. And we need to warp over here. There's a few more eyes behind these panels. That activated that hookshot panel. We're going to get this next triangle, and we're going to walk into the loading zone backwards. Or not, because it's all the way over there. We're going to bookmark right here so we don't have to walk all the way back up there. We need to enter Domo Paradiso again. You'll notice that I no longer have my katana and my credit card. That one thing I mentioned before with all the tools being granted to me only happens outside of Domo Paradiso. And if we did not grab the camera before, our camera upgrade would disappear, so we would need to reset because that would actually be a soft lock. So now we are all done in Domo Paradiso. We have all 3 triangles in this area. And the next area we're going to be going to is Love Cruise 64, which is, as the name entails, a N64-themed level with a neat little visual filter. This area is actually a cruise dedicated to robots looking to have a good time, fall in love, things like that. And unfortunately, we will not be doing any of that. We will be actually entering the VIP area illegally because the intended way to get into Love Cruise is go into the employee area, which requires 750 likes to get into as opposed to 3,000. However, popularity is overrated, so we're just going to go into the VIP area anyway. We're going to set a bookmarker right here and clip past that door, and now we are on Love Cruise 64.
Hey, I'm sorry, where in the hell can I buy a ticket for this ship of robots falling in love? I want in.
You can buy it on Steam right now for $15. Broken Reality on Steam. Can we catch your own pass? Oh, we didn't. So these are thrown objects. Normally you would use these objects to start cooking things. Unfortunately, we're not going to be cooking with these vegetables. We're going to be throwing them off the ship after we set a bookmarker on the vegetables, and we are going to be thrown out of bounds. And we are going to fall into the suites area. To normally get into the suites, you need to do a whole bunch of questing involving getting bar items, hotel room keys, and getting to be friendly with the cruise staff. Fortunately, that is the slow way to do it. So we're going to set another bookmark right here. We're going to go to the end of this hallway. This is the fake wall. You can only activate these from a certain distance. So we are going to be warped into the engine room, which is the normal way to get into Love Cruise 64. But thankfully, we are doing these in reverse order, so we do not need to backtrack as much as the game would expect us to do. And there are 2 triangles in the engine room. The first one is at the entrance over that way, and the second one is at the very tippy top of this engine room here. So you would use the sword to get rid of all this trash. Fortunately, we don't have to get rid of all of it, just some of it. And there is a hyperlink panel somewhere around here. Here it is. So we're going to hyperlink up here. We're going to use that vertical momentum breaker that I said before to get up here. We're going to get up here. And there's a short little cutscene. You normally need to do this like 3 times in order to actually get up here legitimately, but these hyperlink panels are very nicely positioned, so I don't have to do any of it. And there's a triangle just sitting all the way at the very tippy top. We're going to warp back to the entrance, and we're going to activate this lever. I was a very stupid person in this casual playthrough, and this also took me like an hour and a half to figure out. We need to activate this lever again to open the door. And we have all 3 triangles in Love Cruise without completing any of the quests or doing anything to help out these people have a good time, because speedrunning isn't about having a good time. Speedrunning is about just getting to the end. And so the last area, if you are familiar with the movie Blade Runner or the Vaporwave album 2814 or the Vaporwave album Birth of a New Day by 2814, which is the best Vaporwave album in all of time, bar none. I am a qualified music critic, believe me. The next area is actually themed off of both of those. This is GeoCity, if you're also familiar with GeoCities. That's where the name comes from. And we have to wait for the train to come in, so let's see what some of these people have to say. Can I get the N? I saw it at one point, but I accidentally scrolled past it. Oh, well. A lot of this dialogue of the NPCs is submitted by Kickstarter backers, so a lot of it is just non-sequitorial nonsense. Anyway, GeoCity. GeoCity is very difficult because we have to do more thrown object physics, and a lot of the thrown object physics in GeoCity are with soda cans or tea cans, and they are very awkward sometimes. So whenever we pick up a can that we are standing on top of, the physics will freak out and eject us upwards along with the can. We need to actually set a bookmarker right here. It's fine. There's a triangle hidden behind this weird LOD nonsense. And we need to do another can jump to get actually on top of this roof. Hopefully I will not eject myself out of bounds, because that is extremely easy to do with cans. Okay, thank you. My can did not fall out of bounds. It is very easy for these cans to fall out of bounds, and if you bookmark on top of them and then teleport out of bounds, you're done. That's basically it. Can I catch the can midair? Okay, I just need to grab this from really far away. And we're going to air brake to actually increase our momentum a lot, because I don't know why this happens. I don't know why anything in this game happens. Like, a lot of the stuff in this game just happens on its own, and I don't know why the spacebar cancels all your vertical momentum. I don't know why canceling your vertical momentum increases your horizontal momentum, but only when you jump off of a can. It's really weird. A lot of this is... Oh, that was not a good enough can. So the last thing to do in GeoCity is to get to D-Top Tower, and instead of doing it the legit way, I need to walk in the back way, which is this way. And I need to walk into this elevator right here. Welcome to D-Top. Access beyond this point is restricted to millionaires only. Come back when you haven't made enough money. Oh, look, we made enough money. Actually, what's our balance right now? Oh, we're $5,400 in debt. Never mind. Because all of that math problem that we had back in Aquanet, that was actually buying memory, and we needed to buy enough memory to actually get to the proper solution, which is different every time, by the way. The algebra problems you would need to do are the same, but the numbers are different. So that's why it took me about a minute and a half to prove myself that I'd spent my math degree on nothing. $214 down the drain. Anyway, that's the last triangle in the game, and we're just going to walk off a D-Top Tower. We get to look at all this pretty scenery as we plummet abnormally slowly down to Earth. Very, very slowly. We're going to hit it? Nope. We fade out right before it. Anyway, so now we have all 15 triangles, I think. We need to get into the last area of the game. Unfortunately, we need 3,900 likes to get into the last area of the game, so we're just going to do the same trick we have been doing every single time to access every other area, because if it not for this one hyperlink panel up here, I have no idea how I would get into any of this stuff. And the last area of the game is right here, and we're just going to fall. It's very nice looking at the world from beneath us. Thankfully, this loading zone extends out past this, and now we're in the deep web, and everything's scary. Oh, no. What is this called? The Internet. This is actually much less scary when you realize that that's also the name of a Tim and Eric skit. It's the Internet, all on one disk. You can access 107 websites. So anyway, now we are in Plinth. I did not know that Plinth was even a word until I played this game. I still don't remember what it means. I just remember that until a patch that was released last week, the resolution that I play at, which is 16:9 windowed, would often display inner knee, which is obviously a body part and not a place you would want to be at. So unfortunately, despite these areas being rather small, this is actually one giant map. And depending on the computer and depending on how well your computer accepts Unity, this area can be very laggy. And I just need to make sure that I'm not looking in certain areas. Oh yeah, also, by the way, I didn't explain this at all. I'm rescuing children in this area. They're child orbs, which I have shortened to chorbs for your convenience. So this is the fisherman, normally stylized fisherman with a PH instead of an F, but we were supposed to have talked to him like 3 different times by now, and I haven't done any of that. He gave us a map. He gave us a piece of a map. As you could tell by the category name, full map, we need to get the full map. There is a faster category, in theory, to completing this game, which is just guessing the map solution. Can I go through the portal? There we go. Guessing the map solution is, in theory, faster by 3 minutes, but I do not want to have this game reduced to a guessing game, which would be hell to play because it's at the very end of the run every time. So me and the one other person that run this game decided that we made 2 separate categories, one where you complete the map in full and one where you just try to guess it. And by the way, to see how bad it is at guessing, you have a 1 in 1,024 chance to guess the map solution correctly. So, yeah. That ain't good. So we need to rescue 13 chorbs, child orbs, and if you forgot that. And I think we have 9 right now. I've been keeping track in my head, but all of these attempts at trying to be funny have been muddling my math sense that has already been proven to be incompetent by Aquanet. This is an invisible bridge, by the way. And skip all of this platforming section right here, and we're going to work back over here. And we need to talk to a very plot-essential NPC. They have no name. They're just named Error. And I just skip all this text. And there is one last chorb in this section over here. It'll stop lagging soon, I promise. I should have all 13. Thank you. Yes, I did. And she has given me the last map half, so I am free to leave. Leave being in air quotes. So what does our full map look like? Lots of cats and fire. Thankfully, I have no eggplant symbols. Eggplant symbols are at the very last rotation, and it is somewhat slow. There's the eggplant, though, because I need to warp back to the heart. So that opens up the very last portal in the internet, which is to the River Styx. If you are familiar with the River Styx, then you know what the River Styx is. Unfortunately, we do not need to actually go into the River Styx because we just want to die right away. Because believe it or not, the end goal of this game is to die. I don't get it either. Because you don't actually die. You just shut down the game, and then you also die when you shut down the game. I don't get it. Also, thankfully, the glitch lens gets rid of that source engine effect whenever you go out of bounds. Whenever you start moving the camera around, it multiplies the frame like that. Anyone that's played TF2, CSGO, things like that, thankfully, the glitch lens gets rid of that effect. And actually, thankfully, I did not activate any jump scares because that maze has jump scares. Because the intended thing to do is to follow a little ball of light called Omega, and he would lead you through the maze. And if you followed him through the maze, you wouldn't hit any jump scares. But If you did not follow him successfully or were too slow and you would wander into a dead end, you would see a jump scare. And thankfully, I did not activate any of those by wandering past the horizontal plane that they were in. Anyway, we're in death. We have walked into death. And not time yet, but soon. Now we're in the real world. Sucks. That's that person we were talking to before. They were in the game, and now they're in real life. What's going on? Time is soon, by the way, in the next 10 seconds or so. When the game screen freezes and starts freaking out, we need to cancel the shutdown. Too late, and time. Time's like 27 minutes, right? That's actually not bad. Also, the screen's freaking out. The bitrate is dead. So this is actually a remix of a Pink song. I don't know what Pink song it is, but I know that the remix is by Death's Dynamic Shroud WMV, which is a very good song. A lot of the music on this is original, but some of the songs on here are actually by featured vaporwave artists like Cat System Core, Death's Dynamic Shroud. There's one that's just a bunch of ends, I think. I don't quite remember. The list of this is a little bit long, and I have yet to browse it and commit it to memory. But this game is very fun, casually and in a speedrun sense, because there's a bunch of tricks and stuff. Thankfully, I have talked with the devs, and they have a whole bunch of stuff going on and making sure that this run is actually like fun, because originally the speedrun was going to be that I would just sit in a corner and spam left mouse for 7 minutes to gather enough likes to actually get into the end game legitimately. Thankfully, I don't have to do that. But this credit sequence is quite long, because you'll see this is just a bunch of near-death hallucinations. I'm not quite sure what this is, but as soon as it fades out to this, it'll take like 4 minutes, so I don't know if you want to skip it or not. Do we have... Oh, we do have a few minutes. I was underestimate. That's right.
You've got a few minutes on your estimate. We will let you enjoy it. You have earned those minutes by being good at video games.
Well, this is an interactive epilogue. We can walk around in it. And you can see the bitrate dying even more. And it's going to die even more once more visual effects are added, like the screen being mirrored. It'll actually go to a traditional credit sequence after this is over. This is basically an auto-scroll. This is the only auto-scroller in the entire game, is the credits. Thankfully, this game has like no random chance in it at all. Like, the only random chance is the numbers you'll get in Aquanet and basically how the cans will work in GeoCity. And other than that, this game is basically RNG free, which is one of the few things I love about it. However, when I was running the beta, I was speedrunning the closed beta for this game, because I speedran closed betas, which is thoroughly against the spirit of speedrunning, because no one else would be able to do it. The credits wouldn't actually play. It would just end after this, and you could still see the map, and it's really awkward. You could get really awkward visual effects with getting like a Windows 95 HUD in the like source engine out of bounds thing. It looked really weird. Oh yeah, I have no more tools, by the way. All I can do is click. I was supposed to lose all of my tools in the river Styx with a cutscene, but I skipped that. Eventually, we'll start seeing a black circle encase our entire vision soon. I don't remember how long. Like, this song is originally 7 minutes on the album, but now it's like shortened to 3.5, I think. Yeah, you can see a weird visual effect going on in the middle of the screen. That means it's almost over. But I guess shout-outs to Dubuflu. That's a lot of O's. He is the other runner of this game. He actually found about like 50% of the glitches, like the rocket jump out of Aquanet, quicker things like getting into Aquanet early. Originally, you had to get 350 likes and actually get popular enough to leave Domo Paradiso, and I didn't like that. I didn't want to get popular. That's overrated. But he found a lot of the stuff. Thank you, Dubuflu. I greatly appreciate it. Oh yeah. If anyone's watched from Chillzone, shout out to Chillzone. If they're not, then I'm going to yell at you. I'm going to yell at all of them. It's over soon. Everyone else is fine. We supposedly shut down the game after we ejected the floppy disk that the game was running on. But as you can see, all of these characters are fine and having a beach party without us because we're dead. And you have actual legitimate credits. I like this credit song. The entire sequence is a a bit outlandish, but that's the entire game. And you wouldn't recognize any of these characters. We didn't talk to any of them. But there's a whole bunch of Kickstarter stuff. You see it's made by Dynamic Media Triad. They're a bunch of nice guys. I talked to a few of them, and they're all pretty nice guys. I think they're making a new game soon. They have they're on itch.io as well. If you don't want to buy this game on Steam, it's also on itch.io. There's a demo, by the way, as well. There's a demo on Steam, and there's a demo on itch.io. So if you're interested in this game, you can try it for free. You can explore all of Domo Paradiso. Oh yeah, these are the Vaporwave artist names. Cat System Core. Cat System Core is like one of my favorite Vaporwave artists. He's made a whole bunch of nice albums. He made News at 11, which is a very interesting statement on post-America in the new millennium, and it's really weird considering it's a Vaporwave album of all things.
All right, well, with that, I think we are going to start moving on to our next run. Thank you so much for showing off this, I don't even know if I can call it a video game, this experience, this wild, beautifully kaleidoscopic ride.
It is a video game. You can control it, and it has things.
You know, that's fair. Stay tuned for Time Spinner if you like Metroidvanias and lesbians also.
And Wario Land after it.
Yes.
I'm DrunkWario, and I'm not even running a Wario game.